Yo, what's good, guys? So today's video is gonna have to. I think this is a good one, guys. I think this is a really good one. So, for those of you guys that don't know, we are fighting against BDO, which is Chisco Gaming's alliance. It's been rough, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, we've had a lot of fighting. Especially when the pass first opened. Right now we're kind of just healing, and we were dealing with more like planning stuff at the leadership level, so we weren't really scheduling any attacks or anything like that. But anyways, getting back on track for what this video is supposed to be. So today we're gonna talk about like what are some good alternatives when you run out of stamina for your magic units. I know that not everyone has this problem, but if you've properly spec'd your account to be like a main mage or main archer or whatever, like so like majority, like I would say like 80% of your training speeds have gone to like your main troop type. Eventually you're gonna start running into stamina problems. So what do you do then? How do you even prepare for that? What are some good options, right? So to show you guys the builds that I've been running. So on my 3 mage setup, guys, I still do this one right here. I even 6-starred Hosk, by the way. He's just that good. Um, so these are the three that I run. However, right, based off some skirmishes that we did against an alliance called FSK, I know some of you guys know them. I was only able to manage these three unit types or these three marches here for about 2.5 hours of fighting, right? If you guys ever been in a fun opening war, it lasts way more than 2.5. So what does that mean? That means I gotta not run that many marches and focus on what brings the most punch to the field, right? So, um, so the marches that I was running Lily of Aelin with my Vestals, and then I was running my Celestials with Breath of Gigantus. So with Breath of Gigantus, we definitely needed that, right? Because we're already outnumbered, we're already outpowered, we're out everything, right? So having that Breath of Gigantus kind of helps everyone out in the field be able to do a little bit more damage to the enemy. So I ran into a stamina problem though, right? So then at that point it's like, okay, what do I use? Okay, I have Waldeer, but now who? Waldeer? Do I use Waldeer and Alwyn? Possibly. Do I use Waldeer and Indis? People would say that I'm crazy, right? Like ain't no way. Like Indis is not good at all. Blah blah blah. Right? But she's actually, believe it or not, guys, it was a good option. It was a good pair. Something about this combination has some solid synergy. Um, let's just see. I'll show you guys the reports. I'll show you guys the reports so you guys see like this is actually field tested. It's not just me like, oh, good alternatives, right? With no actual proof of it. So there's two right there. Dun 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 dun. Dun. Oh, that one's for the cav video. Okay, so yeah, they're right in the beginning. So cool. I saved two of them. So this March, the Waldeer primary in this secondary, guys, was consistent. It was consistent in terms like, so I'm T5, right? So I was still getting my 30k merits plus, just being smart with it. All right, so we're gonna look at this first report, right? Look at this. Look how many people are attacking me. The survivability, and I still got 16k merits, and they didn't kill me. Bro, we're playing against BDO guys. This is not some farming alliance. A lot of these guys are T5s, right? Look at this. Look at these trades. Look at these trades, bro. It's a good alternative, and I'll tell you guys a little, and I'll show you guys my build for sure after this. Look at this. Like I actually can't make this up. The March does good, bro. It's field proven. It's field tested. I've used Waldeer and Alwyn out there before, but it didn't do as good as this one. So the Waldeer Alwyn was getting like 22, 23. So like, yeah, it's if you don't have a good Indis, I'll show you how where my Indis is at. Um, And then you can kind of gauge it yourself. Be like, yeah, I have about the same build as him, so it's gonna do good. So if you don't have a good Indis, definitely the Waldeer All-Win is a good option, guys. But I'm showing you guys here. This is me like fighting all these people, bro. Look at all this. And this is BDO, guys. This is not, like I said, this is not just some farming alliance that a bunch of like low-powered T4 players or anything like that. Look at this. Okay, those are archers. That kind of sucks. He's using the Lily All-Win. These are all counterattack damage. So anytime you see like these low numbers, it's like counterattack damage, bro. It's like it. It's actually crazy, guys. It's actually crazy. When you see like 0-7 wound and then they have some severely wounded, that's usually AoE. Look at this. Bro, guys, I'm telling you, I'm not making this up. Like you guys are seeing this yourselves. You guys are seeing this yourselves of what the damage is looking like for these guys. So, I finally get defeated. Look at this. I'm getting swarmed by so many of them, right? Pay to win is in here too. You're talking a total of 20 billion power against those guys at one point. Our allies FSK ran into like a stamina and troop issue. So at one point it was just us versus BDO and pay to win. 20 billion power versus 6 billion power, guys. And I'll talk a lot. I'll talk about it a little bit in this video, kind of like the strategy that we used. Anyway, so look at that. I'm just showing you guys the report so you see what I'm talking about here. And then I'm kind of curious. I kind of want to go into one and see like what the hell was going on in these reports that I was doing so much damage. So right now I'm just kind of showing you guys field tested against a solid alliance. So imagine what it will do against some like, some weak alliance or even medium-ish alliance. Like, bro, you're gonna wreck their shit. Um, and I know what some people are thinking, like, oh, you're T5, blah blah blah. Like, yeah, but look, a lot of these guys are T5s also. A lot of these guys are T5s also. You know what I mean? Like, they have a lot of T5 players. So I'm sure the T4 version of this would also do good. It's obviously not gonna do 30k merits good, right? Possibly like 15, I would say. 15 to 16, I would say. Um, Look at this though. It's field tested, guys. It's field tested, right? I'm just moving and shooting. Okay, so I'll show you guys my build. Oh, that was the first one, and this is the second one right here. Look at this, another one. I mean, you guys gotta get the point, right? I don't have to go through each exact one for you guys to see what I'm talking about. But I don't know, like, I think this is one of the tankiest magic builds. Definitely one of the tankiest magic builds. I'm actually curious to see what a Lilia Indis would do. I'm actually curious to see what a Lilia Indis would do. I might even just run that in this video just for you guys so you can see uh, what happens. Maybe. Maybe. But yeah, anyways, you guys get it, bro. Here's the proof. You guys see that it's a good build for when you run out of stamina. You can have that Waldeer Indis standing by in the chute ready to go. Other combinations after that. So if you run out of Lilia Valen, you run out of Thea and Atheist. I guess you could try a Waldeer Hosk, right? I mean, Lilia Hosk does well, so I think a Waldeer Hosk would be good. But at this time, my archers were also running low on stamina, guys. So I think my Hosk was out of stamina actually. Yeah, he was. I think a Waldeer Hosk would also do really well. But like I said, a lot of main mages use Hosk for their archer builds. Just depends on your spell level, right? But a lot of main mages should be using Kanara Hosk. It's still one of the best archer uh, pairings out there, especially for the open field, and especially when you're getting flooded. So yeah. So here's Waldeer, right? Obviously he's awakened. He's 5-starred for sure. I can't remember. No, I was running a good pet on him, I think. I'll look again to see what pet I have. But this is his talent build right here. Same thing, guys. For me, this season, I've been focusing a lot on my speed for mages. So obviously, I went skills first, so I can get caged animal. I love caged animal. I'm really good at positioning myself, so I usually do get up to a maximum of 8% here, right? Because I kind of just reposition myself and I'm just laying waste. I know some people say, "Oh, thirst for blood," because you're coming in and out, in and out, in and out, but it's like, yeah, you do, but I do find myself a lot of the times very like just posted, just raining fucking damage. Um, Anyways, either one works. I've used both builds. They both have good results. So. You'll see here, we decided to go overall speed. There's some people that go defense, right? There's a lot of people that go defense and because they want to survive longer, right? But, right, the thing about that, or even here, right, we decided to go speed again, another 15% March speed here. So what this does, the speed builds on mages, it allows you to be masters of the poking game, right? You go in, you're choosing targets of opportunity, you're taking them out. Oh, now they're targeting me, now I'm backing up, right? Now they're targeting me, now I'm backing up. Like you never well, for you could take a 1v2 if it says a T5 if they're T4 players, like weak T4 players, right? Because there's some T4 players that hurt, bro. So, if they have good commanders, good artifacts, and being out in the field, it is your job to know who's in the field, right? That way, when you see their name, you're like, okay, I know this guy's like 20 mil, I'm a wreck him. I know this guy's 30, I'm a wreck him. I know this guy has a freaking um, a Lilia that's like a 3-2-3, or like, you just have to really know your opponents, especially if it's a long war. So you know exactly how to implement all your stuff. So, excuse me. There's my build, guys. So once I finish intimidation, I'm gonna go into energy boost here, right? So 8% chance to add an additional target. I have thought about trying Magic Maelstrom. I'm not gonna lie, but I've still been going with this and it's been working for me, so I would need definitely a little bit more testing. I'm actually curious when we look through the reports right now, how that looks like, if it's showing that, energy boost kicked in or whatever. We'll see what it is. So, here's my Indis, guys. She's 5435, and I know some of you guys, depending on your progress in the game, if you've been playing since global launch, you're probably near or around like where I'm at. So what happened was I for sure got this to 5 for no, actually yeah, first I skipped this one because I'm like I'm not going to be using her in the field. I made sure I had the gathering bonus first, right? For gathering. And then I got this third one right here. Oh man, that HP bonus is going to be nice. Anyways, so I re-rolled it until I got a 5-5 setup. And let me tell you guys, to land that, I think I was only like 5, like 225 in terms of skills, right? So re-rolling it, you kind of gotta get lucky. But I think that fact that she's a good secondary, as a replacement for just kind of like backup, it's good, man. This skill right here, when in battle, and this Legion gains unyielding every 8 seconds, reducing counterattack damage taken by 50% for 5 seconds and removing one debuff effect. So you guys got to think about all those marches out there that are causing debuffs on your mages, causing them to slow down. You got Kinara that uh, does debuffs for them to take more damage from people. We got the 14% HP bonus right here. And I'll tell you guys why I think she's tanky. For one, she has the healing factor, 350, right? It inflicts infirm on the target legion and 2 nearby legions, increasing all damage taken by 20% for 2 seconds. So, when she hits with her skill, you can hit a T5 player out there, and now that specific those 2 legions are gonna take 20% more damage, right? Now think about it. I was thinking about this. I'm like, I could potentially run my poison on her, right? Because now, granted, this is only 2 seconds, right? Once she gets awakened, I think it increases to 2. But I think a good build would be to have a poison build on her, right? So she's just like the ultimate debuffing um, March. So if you combine, it's only 2 seconds, right? But if it once it hits the target and you can kind of and it, let's just say like your poison hits around the same time. So when the poison is out, poison's effective for quite a long time, right? Let's just see. I think it's 20 seconds. So in 20 seconds for sure, she's gonna be proccing her skill for sure. There's no doubt about that. It doesn't take that long. So whenever she procs her skill whenever she procs your skill, it 20% damage taken, right? Now, and then with the Breath of Gigantis, you add another 16%. So now you're talking 36% damage taken, right? Oh, you have a crazy acid breath and it's 32. 32 plus 20, you're talking 52% defense reduction. You guys realize how huge that is? Huge. I for sure when Breath of Gigantus comes out, I'm gonna for sure keep building it up. You know, at least get it once. You know, hopefully I get lucky get it twice, but for sure going in on that Forge event. Anyways, going back to what we were talking about. So yeah, that's the build that I have on Indis, guys. And I was running Vestals. I was running Vestals with them, right? Because then the Vestals also give you even more HP. For those of you guys that don't know what I'm talking about, this is what I'm talking about. This works for even the T4 units here. But if you read it here, grants a boost to one surrounding friendly legion every 3 seconds, increasing their HP by 20% for 15 seconds. So you're also increasing the HP of one surrounding legion to you. And usually it prioritizes like whatever's next to you, right? So, um, so that's a good one there. Obviously, like you guys saw, the vessels have that right there. Provide magical buffs for friendly legions. Well, increasing their HP by 20% for. Dude, you guys realize how huge this is right here. This is why having, like, as a main mage, you have to have a combination, right? So, what does that combination consist of, right? You gotta have your utilization march, like for example, like the Indis combo, because when you're a main mage, you're gonna have 3 mage marches, potentially even 4 if you're a whale, right? And you need to make sure that your your march that gives this buff, the 20% buff, is the Vestals, obviously, right? They're the only ones that can do it. So if you do it, you pair it with an Indis, not only is she healing, she's also providing 20% HP boost. Oh my god, it's just so good, such good synergy there. So yeah, I'll make sure that whenever I post this video, I stay on my Waldeer. It's the same build, so it's a skill build, right? Magic and skill is the same build as my Lilia that I run on Waldeer. So now you guys see it right here. And this has been proven to be field effective. Now, with that being said, no, she is not better than Lilia Valen. She is not better than Lilia Valen, guys. Not even close. Lilia Valen are just a whole nother monster. They are a whole nother monster. Let me show you guys. I have a video that I put out on the Lilia build. Uh, And a lot of you guys have watched that, and I appreciate that support, guys. And let me tell you, it wasn't a one-time thing, guys. That march continues. Uh, where is she at? That march continues to show its worth, right? So let me show you guys here. There's a few other things I want to talk about. Look at this, 56k merits right there. Lilia Valen. That was like her last. That was like her last. Well, I'll go over this, and then I'll go over that. Those are rallies. Um, this is for its own video. The Bakshi Theo combo. I do have my flyers there. That's gonna be its own video. Dun, 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 dun. Look at this, 83. This is a new one. Unless I'm tripping, I'm pretty sure it's a different one. Even if it's the same one, guys, keep it down. Even if it's the same one, let me see. Is it the same one? I don't think so. Let me see. What does that say? No, I think it is the same one. But you guys saw the other one over here. It still had the 50 plus merits. That the 53k merits. That was the wrong one. But it's still performing really well, guys. It's still performing really well. Yo, you guys will see. I'll give you guys the update on the build. So just to quickly touch on it because I don't because I want to make sure that I have footage of the technique that we've been using. So when this level 5 pass opened, guys, when this level 5 pass opened, they came and there was like a sea of marches. I'm talking like some fucking World War Z type shit. You know, like they were just everywhere. Like we were lined up out here, right? There was fucking like 20 of us, right? We look over here. We look over here, and there was a freaking horde of them, bro. Like my game was starting to crash of how many. Anyways, they started swarming the pass. They come over here, and they're all over our face right here, pay to win and BDO because yeah, and then they some of them split over here also. There was just so many of them everywhere, guys. So FSK FSK has big players like Kyle that are 300 million power, right? So they started just five bombing and doing field fighting, taking some pretty bad trades, I'm not gonna lie. But ultimately they were able to push through, right? We aren't FSK. We don't have 300 million power players that can just five bomb out and do that, right? So what do? We utilize timed rallies. Some of you guys are probably like, timed rallies? Like, what is this man talking about? So instead of going out and field fighting, we coordinated four rallies to just push into their horde of players. Now, hear me out, okay? These guys are so hungry for PvP fights that they started attacking the rallies. They started attacking the rallies because they were so hungry for PvP. We weren't gonna come out here. I marked that, put do not field fight back up. I was even marking people. I'm like, if you fucking push out by yourself, like we're kicking you. Like we're tired of people not listening to markers. Blah 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 blah. Right? So we were just sending out our rallies over and over again. So what is a time rally? Like I said, this is gonna be a video of its own, but I'll quickly touch it here since I started talking about it. So essentially, I choose targets out here for my rally. One, you establish rally leaders. Who are my rally leaders? What is their best march? You want to have a um, at this point we had a lot of troops, so we had like two mages, two archers, one tank type vibe, right? So you have them select a target. You have them select a target, and then someone comes over to zone one, right? And reinforces that rally with one troop, right? Now, what does that do? It creates a placeholder, guys. It creates a placeholder. So what that placeholder does, it gives the ability for a war master, like at this time I was doing the war leading, it gives us the ability to launch four rallies into a designated area exactly when we want them to be there. You get what I'm saying? You guys picking up what I'm putting down? Shout out to Abda. Um, he's the one that showed us this technique, and so that's what we did. We just launched the rallies out, and we weren't sending any people for PvP. So yeah, that's what we did there, and I'll show you guys some of the reports. Most of my reports, uh, like I said, we'll have some fighting in the near future, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So you got here Queen Guns, right? Boom. No, not that. Chat. You guys will see the rallies. Dun, 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 dun. Look at this. So my archer ones were all about 300k. You guys realize like they nerf rallies, right? They're not as good. But here we are. What is this? What did that say? What did that say? Look at this, bro. Look how many people. Look how many. Look at how many people swarmed us. And it was more than this too, for sure. Anyways, look at this. Look at these trades, right? Think about it. When You see so many people out there and you're super overpowered. Why would you try to open field fight? Right. If there was no other option, sure, do what you gotta do, have a little bit of fun, fill your hospital, go to bed. We tried, right? But if there's an alternative to help minimize the severely wounded units that you take, especially as a leader, you need to be able to understand the capabilities of your enemies and then what you have, and then kind of mitigate that and choose the option that's gonna have you take the least amount of sev wounds with the most amount of punch, right? So in our case, I was sending rallies through. We sent probably like 15 or 20 rallies that they swarmed and destroyed. That's how many people were here. So eventually, we ran them down. There wasn't that many, and we came out and we started fighting them throughout the zone, right? We will build a tower. They will set their horde up. We will send the rallies again. Their little ball would get smaller and smaller, and then once the people in the field were there was that many, then we'll send in the troops to clean them up, right? Rinse and repeat. We did that all the way down to this area here where we ended up building a CF. Ultimately, they won that fight. Now we're back here. That's long story short, right? So this video probably went a little bit longer than I expected because I started talking about our experience with BDO. But I'm sure some of you guys were wondering, like, damn, like what happened? Don't worry, we'll be getting some footage today and potentially tomorrow. And when I say today, 0106. So stand by for that, guys. Once again, I appreciate you guys watching. I really do hope you guys try out the Waldeer and Indis combination, and then let me know in the comments how it goes, guys. Make sure that you guys copy my strategy exactly, or like my talent build, and try to get the Indis for sure. 5 on the first skill, and then 5 on the second skill, guys. Make sure that you actually test that out. Okay, the last thing that I left out, which I think is pretty important. Sorry. I know we were doing the whole the whole outro stuff, but I have to show you guys who the hell were we using for a pet? I want to say it was an alternative pet too, right? I want to say cuz my pets were hurting too. Look, yeah, look. The 57 Phaedrake, the 111, okay. It's not even that good of a pet either. I didn't even have a good pet on him, right? So is this still on him? Yeah, same pet still on him. Look at this. B intelligence. Imagine if I had one of my good pets on it. Imagine if I had one of my good pets on it. So that's it, guys. If you like, if you guys like the video, drop a like. Make sure you guys drop some comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about the build. Have you used the build? Do you have similar experiences as I do? Have you tried other builds for to help when you run out of stamina? Um, if you found this video useful and one of your buddies is like, "Ain't no way," and this is a viable option to use out in the field, yes, it is. Send them this video so they can see the proof. We have the field tested proof. I showed you guys the builds, what they have. So, yeah, it's a good March. Also, the one a big thing is I had my Infernal Flame on her. Okay, I had my Infernal Flame on Waldeer, right? I had my Infernal Flame on Waldeer. You guys did hear me talk about Breath of Gigantus, but that's in a situation where you have multiple marches that you can use, right? So that's it, guys. Once again, I appreciate you guys your support. The video, I mean, I personally feel like our channel is growing at a pretty high rate, and I do appreciate all you guys' support. We're almost at 300 subs. Um, yeah, guys, later. It's your boy Guns. I'm outie.